Good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to this next session. I know we've all had an interesting, amazing, and inspiring time at the Earthshot Summit. And I have to say this, I have to put this in, I am super excited because one of those finalists on the screen, Freetown the Tree Town, is my city. My name's Yvonne Eki Sawyer, and I'm the former mayor and now just re-elected mayor of Freetown. And today, I have the pleasure of welcoming to the stage a conversation by two individuals who are very, very well known. And they'll be talking about what we all need to be doing, what Earthshot is about, innovation and ambition. The first person I will call on the stage is Jose Andres, who is very well known for his World Central Kitchen.
All right. Hello. I'm not cooking. Don't get too excited.
Please, why not? And we'll hear all about how his innovation is addressing some of the worst impacts of climate change, the disasters that we're seeing too much of. And to lead that conversation is a household name and a famous face, Katie Ter of MSNBC. I'm not from here. I'm from here.
It's okay, you got it.
Over to you to take us through. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. Full disclosure here, I have a show at 3 p.m. That I have to sprint to, so I have to get out of here in about 15 minutes, but I will hand this over for the conversation to continue.
So this is all I had to say for today. Thank you, guys.
Chef, it's wonderful to be here with you. And you know, the theme here, talking about innovation and disruption, how you can do good in the world more efficiently. You've been able to achieve that with World Central Kitchen. I mean, you started in 2010, you went into Haiti, which was a disaster of an epic proportion. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed, 160,000 people. And the government was in shambles. How did you do it?
Well, in Haiti, it's not like I did much. Yes, I did a few 100,000 meals here and there. But for me, going was just a moment in my life that I saw in the distance. You remember Katrina? Yeah. New Orleans, what happened to the people in the Lower Nine? How did we forget so many people for so many days, sometimes weeks, at the Superdome without food and water? Do you know what an arena is? What the stadium is? You say a place for sports where my NBA and NFL team plays? My favorite singer? You're wrong. An arena is a gigantic restaurant that entertains with sports and music. It's full of restaurants. We were not supposed to leave anybody hungry for one day. We were supposed to go pick up some cooked food. The main food warehouses of New Orleans, they are literally 1.1 kilometers away, and start feeding. These moments kind of began telling me like sometimes food in emergencies, it's an afterthought. And Haiti for me was the moment that I said, you know, I've been doing this as a volunteer in Washington, D.C. with this amazing organization I was able to join. This is Central Kitchen, where I saw the power of food to empower our community. But in me, I wanted to see if my profession, my profession that feed the few people in the good times, in the expensive restaurants, and in the good moments, if when something happened, we could put our same knowledge and our restaurants and know-how to feed the many. And for me, Haiti was really the moment that I began this kind of exploration in how my profession can be more helpful in catastrophic events.
You say chefs are good at chaos.
Chefs were good at chaos. I mean, come on, you are responsible for that. How many of you go and don't change something in the middle of a Friday night just because you want to? So imagine hundreds of orders every night with every one of you. I'm celiac, even you know your line. Some people are celiac and you can kill them. I don't want a shrimp. I don't want garlic and the garlic is shrimp. Then why you order garlic is shrimp? Imagine that. And then everything else that happens in a kitchen that you don't know. You You think you're waiting for your steak for an hour. You don't know what happened in that grill and the person. So we are good in managing that kind of chaos because what we do is now. The urgency of now when you go to a restaurant is right now. What we are doing is trying to bring the same urgency of now and the service we need to provide in the good moments, bringing that mentality on the emergency. We're trying to take care of everyone like if you're coming to one of our restaurants.
How do you scale it, though?
Well, the scale is the funny part because let's go Puerto Rico. Probably was, even we already responded to, at the smaller scale, to, as I was learning in Haiti and I had some projects and we did a school and there were some hurricanes happening. Really, that year was the big one that hit Houston, which I think was Irma. I was coming from that one, already warm up. Maria happened, and the response was terrible. Was 2,000 men and women trying to do the best they could from many FEMA and other organizations in the big convention center. But really, Maria went through the middle of Puerto Rico. The destruction was real. Was no electricity, was no gas, an entire island of 3 million people. A part of America in the Caribbean with chaos. So the first day we did 1,500 meals. But by day 5, we were doing 15, 20,000. By day 12, we were reaching 100,000. And then by week 3, we were reaching 120, 150,000 meals a day. How do you scale? It's not any different than when you are at home and you are trying to do a turkey for first time on Thanksgiving. Usually, if you're smart, you start with a smaller turkey. Next Thanksgiving, you go, because you feel powerful. So now let's bring it to the real time. In Bahamas was Dorian, hit 14 islands and cays at once. The need was major. Of a country of 340,000 people, 80,000 needed real help. Very much we were the first ones with boots on the ground actively. How do you bring food to 14 islands that have no airports, that have no control towers, that they are still covered in water because that's how bad Dorian was? By scaling, and when the need is really big, the scale, has to be bigger and bigger. That means that if one restaurant can only do 5,000 meals, but you need 80,000, that means you need so many more restaurants. But then how you bring it? By boat, far away? We needed helicopters. We began with one, but one was not enough. We had to bring water. Water is heavy. We got up to 6 helicopters at one point. But then when we moved to the northern islands, we realized that we didn't have any gas, any fuel to refuel. Dangerous. In the open sea with no fuel, how you come back? We brought a boat that we had refueling capacities and had 2 helipads. The boat was not only good for refueling and helipads, but also to bring food from Fort Lauderdale and other things that could help us in the northern part. As you see, big problems have very simple solutions. What you keep doing is, how can I resolve this problem right now in real time with what I have? Without realizing we reach 80,000 meals a day, delivered every day across 14 islands, hot meals, water. In the process, without realizing, we did medical evacuations. Not because we were ready to do medical evacuations, but this is one thing. We don't really cook. What we do is create infrastructures of distribution. What happens, we distribute food and water. In the moment we have distribution of food and water, then we can do in the process quickly medical evacuations. We can bring solar lights. But what is very important is that you understand where you are, you understand the needs, create infrastructure to distribute, and in the process, you can be next to the people every single day.
It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It sounds like it's not just chefs, though. You have chefs cooking the food, but this organization is much more than chefs. You need all sorts of people who have varying degrees of expertise.
Yeah, obviously we romanticize a lot because I was volunteer number 1 and I'm the chef. And
Chief Feeding Officer.
Chief Feeding Officer, but they give me a title only to keep me quiet. I don't run the organization in the day-to-day. I'm in the board. Probably very soon I will not even be in the board. Me, what I like to be is a guy that is with boots on the ground as soon as I can. In Ukraine, we arrived within 20. I landed personally, which equals Wolves in the Kitchen, before 24 hours after the war began in Ukraine. We began feeding in Poland. Without realizing, we began every day increasing the number of meals in every single place where Turkish refugees were, Ukrainian refugees were living. Without realizing, within 2 weeks, we were in every single country surrounding Ukraine. But day 3, day 4, we began feeding inside Ukraine. Without realizing, we were in every single major city in Ukraine. Without realizing, we had 1 restaurant. We ended with 500 restaurants. We ended doing 500,000 hot meals a day. Without realizing, we added 1 more million meals in the form of food bags, using warehouses that we began opening in different parts of Ukraine. We reached 1.5 million meals a day in close to 9,000 distribution points every single week. You see, we began with 1,000 meals, but when the need is there, what you have to be is smart and use whatever you have around you to start scaling. I repeat it again. When you talk about food and water, the urgency of now is yesterday. You cannot wait. And you can do it with local food. You can do it with local people, where always the aid is going to be quicker and smarter. And in the process, because the money is channeled through those local businesses and people. You are not only providing aid, but in the process of the emergency, you are already investing in the reconstruction of those communities. This has to be the way going forward.
I'm glad you brought up Ukraine, because I have a question about, I know, I see that. How do you do it? I mean, Ukraine's a war zone, but it has a government that wants you there. What do you do when you're coming up against a government that doesn't want you there or isn't capable of interacting with you?
Ukrainian people are very fascinating. By the way, I hope everybody in this room understands that it's not the same to defend yourself than to attack themselves. Everybody needs to be with Ukraine. Ukrainians are defending themselves from a person that should not be the leader of any country, period. And yes, you can clap on that as well. But the Ukrainian government didn't know we were there. We go there on behalf of the American people that support us. And we are showing to help the people. And obviously, if the government is there also to help the people, I can say that it's not a better country in the world today than to do business than Ukraine. Yes, you may hear here and there corruption and other things. Many countries have them. But I've seen in the Ukrainian people, wow, they are amazing. They work together like anybody. They welcome the people coming from the outside like anybody I've seen anywhere. And so for us, it was very easy. But then you go to some countries that you have to understand, everybody is proud. If somebody goes to your home, first time, and I don't even knock on the door, and I open the oven and say, this turkey needs salt, and you look at me, who are you, man? Well, what are you doing in my kitchen? This is exactly the same. What we always try to do, obviously, very understanding that sometimes in emergencies, everybody is shocked, including governments. And what happens is that often when big tragedies occur, is no government ready to resolve the problems that people face. So we always go there telling, this is not our organization, this is your organization. But we are here to help you. And we repeat this non-stop. We did it in Turkey. Turkish people are very fascinating. I know President Erdogan had criticisms, but that earthquake was massive. And I was very impressed with how good they are in providing aid. But we are talking about an earthquake of massive proportions. It's like 20 earthquakes at once, multiple big cities destroyed. I mean, very massive. So at the beginning, they were like, hey, thank you for being here, but we don't need you. They will tell you that a few times, different members of different communities. But when you show up every day, and again, and again, and you don't give them trouble, but aid, it's one moment that at the very end, they come to you, they put a hand on your shoulder and say, you know, I was wrong. I'm sure we needed you. Thank you for being here. And thank you actually to fight against us. This happens sometimes, but I repeat, everybody is proud. And to be proud is a good thing. It's not something I use against people. You see the criticisms Morocco is receiving somehow, because seems aid is not coming in the way that should. Okay, every leader has to deal with the consequences if their citizens then believe that they are not receiving the aid they receive. But organizations like ours and every other organization, we should not be there for the governments. We should be there for the people. People helping people is the best way of governance we can institute in life. I'm a big believer of that. I'm a big believer of government, okay, too. Don't misunderstand me. But government should be at the service of the people, and organizations should be at the service of the people. Not what some proud leaders sometimes they think should be the answer to catastrophes. So I promise you I will always be there next to the people, for the people, by the people.
I'm going to ask this next question, and then you're going to see me sneak off the stage, and Carol Masser of Bloomberg's
You're not going to say that you are late on live TV because you are with me.
I think Chris Chansing is going to have a problem if she has to do any longer than 2 hours of television today. Part of the success of your organization is that you guys are able to adapt easily. You're not a top-down organization. You're not a top-heavy organization. You're not well-established and have grown so big that you have a certain protocol that might hamstring you. Can you talk about your ability to be flexible?
Yeah. Well, this has pros and cons. I believe in flatter organizations. When you, that was a great question. Thank you, Jose. Thank you.
And I thought AI was going to replace me.
So, just to finish that one, so flat organizations, I do believe, are in essence the best going forward. At the private sector and the NGO sector, I even will argue at the government sector. What flat means? I mean, listen,
Wait.
You know, if you are a pyramidal organization, you know, and you are sitting at the top, and I'm sure some people here are at the top, but maybe others not. So the guy at the top, let's say some of you, is the boss, right? Why? Because you are at the top of the pyramid. You see, yeah, Game of Thrones, the nearest, the pyramid, yeah. You are at the top. You have an idea, and the gravity of the pyramid makes the idea come down, right? Why? Because you are at the top. The idea comes down. And everybody's looking. What's happening? The boss is thinking, oh shit, what is he thinking? Whatever, blue. Next day, everything is blue. The boss goes into the rooms, why is everything blue? Well, you say blue. I was like, well, I was thinking, I was not imposing the idea. But that's the problem with organizations, that they are way too pyramidal. That even the boss is above here alone, and nobody understands him. And sometimes you're the boss, but you don't even know the organization you are running. And then good people with good ideas in the bottom of the pyramid, because that same gravity, they cannot come up. Because the weight is too much, and always you have people pushing you down. That makes organizations fail more often than not. If all of a sudden you go and you make it flatter, you are not who you are because the title behind your door, but you are who you are because you have boots on the ground showing, in a way, the way. And then to end is planning versus adaptation. What are we taught since we're born? Plan. Plan everything. Plan your wedding, plan your communion, plan the weekend, plan. You plan. Everything plan. Plan. Shit, plan. You have a planner, plan. Everything. Okay, what happens when things don't go as planned? Because you only follow a life of planning. And in our companies, the walls are full of plans. This strategic plan for 2023. The UN goals of the 2030, which they are already failing, they are already a failure. But nobody is saying we failed. They keep clapping to each other. Yeah, because we are the UN. Right, good job, people. No, it's a big failure, and we all clap at them because we're going to end hunger. Okay, a big failure. Why? Because they are not adapting. What's adaptation? It's just to put all those books away. And when something happens, respond with what you have in front of you in real time. Obviously, it's easier in an emergency. We have no other option. But if I plan, we are going to feed everybody by truck. Well, if it's no roads, how am I going to feed everybody by truck? Adaptation allows you to understand that you have to do it other ways. The same for every scenario. What happens is that when you teach people to adapt, every problem becomes an opportunity to serve. And every problem becomes a new business opportunity. That's why we need to start putting planning a little bit on the side and start learning that we have to adapt, because things are changing at a faster pace than we are able to write plans for. Therefore, adaptation will win the day.
Hi.
Hola, you're doing great.
Thank you. Man, this is the easiest. It is good to see you again. I'm always inspired. I know we have to wrap up. I wish we didn't.
We didn't lose anybody. Well, we lost one.
Wow, that's okay.
My accent. It's always happened with the guy sitting there.
I think it's when you started to take off your jacket, we all got a little nervous. No, but I think about what you say and these calls to action. Like Mike made this comment, change is possible when vision is paired with action. So you have this incredible audience. We've had this incredible audience here at the summit. What's your call of action for everybody? Because you do talk about sometimes how planning and the infrastructure that's in place gets in the way.
Well, action will be to start all learning. And I know it's easier to give a speech than then is to make it happen in real time. But what we are saying is we are throwing too much money at the problem. And we keep investing the money we keep throwing the money at the same problems. And the problems don't seem to get sometimes any better. We need to start thinking, how do we invest in smart solutions? And specifically food, which is the area I love. I do believe food is the most important energy we have. It's no gas, it's no fuel. If my car doesn't run, I can walk. Food is, without a doubt, one area that every single person, company, governments, UN, that they are not giving the importance it deserves. Actually, the word food doesn't even show up in the 17 goals of the millennium. The word food itself is not even there. The word food, it's a big word. We're 7-8 billion that we depend on that food. But I learned one thing. Just to give you a very small example, that until we don't recognize the importance of food in how humanity runs, we will face more problems and more challenges created by our lack of awareness. Food needs to be recognized as a national security issue. Presidents of governments and companies must have national food security advisors. Policies are never created in a circular 360-degree view. And every time we pass a bill, it creates sometimes more problems than problem solved. Just to give you a quick example to end. When America, which is one of the most amazing countries, helping countries around the world, does humanitarian aid in the form of food, because it's a bill on Congress supported by both parties, that money must not be given, but extra output of cereal and food products created by American companies and farmers. If I was a senator, I would have a hard time, because if I'm a senator of an agricultural state, I want my farmers to do well, and if I'm helping, let's say, Haiti, instead of giving them money, why don't give them rice or grain? That's smart. But what's happening? 14 years ago, we mentioned Haiti before, we gave a lot of food for free to Haiti. We gave so much food for free to Haiti, which actually was the right thing to do, but we put thousands of farmers out of jobs. If now we go and we talk about the refugee crisis and everybody we have in the south of the United States in the border trying to come to the States, you say, what this has to do with Haiti? Well, because we gave so much for free sometimes. When the rich countries give so much food for free to poor countries, we put farmers out of business. Those farmers leave their countries trying to find a place to feed their families. In the process, a refugee crisis is created that then some people say, we have too many immigrants in the south, we need to build the wall. One thing seems is not connected with the other, but actually they are equally the same thing until we don't start having smart food policies that start interconnecting the different places, environment, refugees, immigration, food production, climate change. The world forever will go in the worst direction. But there is hope. is a lot of people that are thinking about how we can help our politicians and leaders to start coming up with those smart solutions. That's why moments like this are important, so we can all agree on how we can stop once and for all throwing money at the problem, but to start investing in the solution. And food is that solution.
Always feel hopeful when he speaks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
well.
guys.
Thank you.
Still, I'm not cooking. Don't clap more.